Welcome back to V-Roll. We are trying to get to 4,000 subscribers. Once we do, we are giving away the Pokemon 151 poster collection, 2 3-pack blisters of Surging Sparks, and 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Be a part of V-Roll. Right, we are going for 4,000 subs, and we are on our way. I think we got like another 500 to go. It's really not that bad. Can we do this? I was kind of hoping for 5,000 by the end of the year, but maybe 4,000 by the end of the year is a more realistic goal. We'll see. We just got to hit that next milestone because you got to walk before you run. Take that extra step. That extra step is to go over to this video here. That's the one where you need to leave a comment, an additional comment, to make sure you are actually entered. I'm going to pull the winners from that video where this giveaway started. All my other videos are pointing that direction, so I can consolidate all of those into one place. Today is Sunday, so it is our Sunday slip where we look at Pokemon product, sealed and single cards that are slipping in price. Let's dive in. We've got Surging Sparks Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box. Now, believe it or not, this one's coming down a little bit. All right, if we look at the chart here, the crazy FOMO pre-sale prices were just out of this world, and that was guaranteed allocations. I don't know how you do this because Pokemon Center is the one who distributes this stuff. So are you doing it as a guaranteed allocation that you know is coming, so when you get it, then you ship it to these people? I don't know. I don't know how you get away with that, but it doesn't matter. It tanked like most things should when it finally releases, you know, when we got to that release date here in November. And we have a big drop off there and then a little bit of a bump around, but on the downward trend. There's a tiny little slope coming down here, a little bit of slope there. If you want to look at the peaks, it's kind of not stable, so maybe it's leveling off. Maybe we're going to sit here for a while. I think that promo inside has to do a big part with this because that thing's going for like 40, 50. I've now seen a lot of listings in the $60 range. My typical approach to this kind of box is to purchase for sealed on my own and then go get the single card or pairing of cards for the Pokemon Center stamped version and the non-stamped version. In this case, it would all be sleeved together if you get it sealed. If you don't get it sealed, then obviously you could just get one or the other or whatever. So I try to get that separately so I can keep mine sealed. We'll see. It's about $50, $60, depending on when you're able to get it. And it looks like it's only ticking up on that one. So we'll have to monitor that to find out. The booster bundle just coming down a little bit. I mean, barely. There was a big restock just recently in all the major retailers with these. Of course, they got sucked up real quick, so not a surprise or anything, but maybe that influx into the market prevents people from turning around and going in this FOMO price, this crazy inflated scalper range here. But the fact that these are getting close to the 151 price on a booster bundle already, this set is madness. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm a lot a bit nervous. Let's say that. I'm actually nervous about Prismatic Evolutions and being able to get just the minimum allocations that I'd be looking for. And if I'm going through that, a lot of people are going through that. It's going to be crazy, but patience. Anything I've learned in this industry, in this hobby, in this collection investment space, it's patience. Time does heal all things, even your Pokemon card investment, even your Pokemon card opening experience. If you want to be there right at the forefront, okay, yeah, it's going to be a little difficult, a little bit too much hype, but just check the stores, get out there, see if you can get an MSRP, pick up one or two here and there based on availability. It's really not that big a deal. It is possible, and it's going to be printed and printed and printed because it's going to be popular, and Pokemon Company would be stupid to miss this opportunity like I think they kind of did with 151. You know, that new box coming out, yikes, looks ridiculous. Hey, Pikachu, you're slipping down in price. That's exciting. Into a range that even my rich friends can't afford. So it's like, yeah, it's slipping in price from the wild $600 price point. But it's not anything that your average investor, your average collector, or any child is going to be able to obtain easily. So opening packs is going to be your best bet. Although you start looking at it, $600 a packs, you're probably not pulling Pikachu because it's about a 1 in 1,000 pull. So you got to cross your fingers, wish on a star, whatever it takes to pull it. But $4.95, it is coming down, and it looks like it's leveling. So I don't know how much further it's going to go down. I think this is going to be, you know, making the Greninja EX look kind of boring in comparison. That, yes, it might be coming down, but I think there's going to be a point where it starts turning, and then it's going to be a slow grow back to the 600 and beyond for this card. I think it's got the legs to just be wild. Pikachu EX on the gold here. Actually a steady decline here, which is actually a little bit better to see because that's market speaking to the price point over and over again. Not quite. And it just keeps dipping down a little bit. So that's a comfortable slope that we want to see on something like this. Hydreigon EX. This one actually has been kind of coming down from the FOMO days of the release on this one. So it's been coming and slipping down here into that $73 range. Not horrible. I'd like to see it at a $50 card, but maybe it's better. I've already experienced that a lot of their cards, just Pokemon cards in general, the SIRs in particular with the texture, they hit so different from computer monitor, your phone, whatever. They hit so different in your hand, and it just really elevates it. So whatever you're thinking it's worth, put a little bit of that, real in your hand price that has to be attached to it to be a little bit more realistic. But here we are still on Surging Sparks. Lucia's Appeal, one that I just wasn't as big of a fan of. It seemed a little bit too simple for being an SIR trainer. I feel like you could have done a little more in the artwork there. We got that big drop, but now a nice steady decline, a more reasonable slope that we want to see there. Keeping in Surging Sparks here, low on Executor. This one I think looks pretty cool here, and I can already envision what that would look like in hand in person. So I'm pleased to see it coming down here, but it's very little movement up and down on this down slope. So it might be leveling off at 50, and could be worth a pickup on that, only because pulling it, again, is going to be really difficult. The SIRs have the same pull rates. Pulling a specific SIR is incredibly difficult because you might pick up 2, 3 of the ones you're not seeking in the process. So very interesting. Latios, I took a look for Scarlet and Violet era. This card has already made it into the top 10 illustration rares. It's at number 9 for the most expensive. So that's pretty cool that this set has jumped that much, even on the illustration rares. I mean, we're talking the Magikarp, the Sleeping Raichu. There's other things that are pushing up there in price, and they've been around a little while that they've been able to build a fan base, build some credibility in price. But you got to look at kind of the peaks here where it's going down. It's stair-stepping down because it's a little bit of wild swings. If it moves a little bit up, it shoots up. If it moves a little bit down, it falls down. And you got to keep an eye on it just to see where you land on that one. But $40, not too bad for a nice illustration rare like that. Jasmine's Gaze, looking again here. Surging Sparks just continuing. It looks like a lot of the cards are having that slip down. This one fell pretty quickly and leveled. Okay, it's just sitting there. It's sitting there. If this is going to go up or down, it's probably not going to be much for a little while until the market decides where it should live officially. You don't see a lot of wild swings on a card that's got that trend already behind it. Cool looking card. But I think even at 35, it's like, okay, maybe not. If you're completing a master set, okay. For a special illustration rare, you're in a good place for not having to spend too much on that specific card here. Night Stretcher. I was wondering why this one's doing so well. It looks pretty playable. That's why. Put a Pokemon or basic energy card from your discard pile into your hand. Now, that could be helpful to bring back from the grave with something you need there. But it's actually on a downslope for the price. So if you are a competitive player, and this is a good one that would fit into your deck, $25 having that flare, not too bad there. Keeping in Surging Sparks, my goodness, will we ever leave this set? Yes, we will. We'll leave it next card here, I promise. But Pikachu EX, the full art version, so it looks like all the Pikachus are coming down a little bit more reality is setting in. $23 on this one. Love that dip there. Some people really took advantage of that. 101 sales there once it dipped down, and then it climbed back up really quick. Now it's in that recovery zone coming back down a little bit here, $23. If this got down to like 19, I could see that being a solid for a full art with a Pikachu tax on it, because most full arts are going to be, a couple bucks at best, and then the higher end ones, the nicer ones, the better Pokemon, those are the ones that fetch a few more dollars. So the fact that this is still up here, okay, give it time. Like I said, patience, times heals all things. Can't discount any of it. It heals all things. It really does. It's true. I haven't lived a whole life yet, but I've lived enough to know that that statement is accurate, and nobody was lying to me when they said it to me. So Bulbasaur from Stellar Crown. All right, we're moving on. This one's been kind of a nice long trend up, but then we've hit that. Now we're probably going to get into some sort of recovery of price point. So we've peaked in that $45 range, which I'd seen way more for where things are at. But we've probably gotten to a zone where we're going to level off in that 43, maybe down to 40, maybe up to 45, maybe down to 38, maybe back up to, it's just going to keep bouncing around a little bit. I think we're in that recovery zone where the market's just going to say we're comfortable here for a while, and we'll see. But as more sets come out, the sales on these will do one of two things. They'll decline because of popularity, it's far gone behind you, or it'll skyrocket because the price is trying to catch up to compete with the new stuff to say, hey, yeah, no, it's worth it. Pick it up. It's $20. Then you'll see big gains on that as far as sales, and then that drives the price back up. The market really does have a good way of working itself out here. Dusknoir on Shrouded Fable. This one had a good climb for a while there, but now it's on a little bit of a decline. Bring it back down just sub 25 on that card. Not too bad. It's not a difficult set to do if you're going to go individual cards, because the highest priced ones are not that crazy. Opening packs would be a terrible idea on this. I had purchased an additional ETB. It was like $33 at the time to open, but because the single cards are so difficult and the sealed stuff is not that valuable yet, I was like, let me just hold off and wait. I don't want to mess with this. I'm not trying to master the set. I was fine skipping it. I was thinking getting a little taste, but I've kind of even skipped that, and now we're well past it. So totally fine by me. Had a good decline here, and then kind of climbed back up for some recovery. So if you look at like the 1 month, we can see that we're in this leveling off zone here, probably in the $21, $22 range of what's going to make sense. If we stretch it out here, you can take a look at the peaks stepping down here, and this might be a new peak that's going to drive it back down. So we'll have to see how that one plays out, but overall the trend is down on this Houndoom. All right, keeping into Shrouded Fable. I don't think that was my intention. I think I was just pulling up illustration rares, but these were kind of higher up on the list for some illustration rares across the Scarlet and Violet era. Duskull. So I think this is the best of the trio, in my opinion. And at $21, not a bad pickup for that illustration rare. If you're interested in that, it's been on a good decline. It's kind of climbing back up, just a touch headed that way. Could be a little recovery, could be another little bump like this, and we see it take it further down. We'll have to see where that goes. Steelix from Paradox Rift, little decline coming here, but if we take a look over the 6-month period, it was up a bit. It was up quite a bit, and now we've gone in this recovery zone, and we're on the downslope of that section there. So sometimes you got to look at the perspective of your view a little bit more. Like if you hone in on one tiny little bit of 1 month, okay, this card's not going to be great because it's only been out for less than a month. But we have a downslope here. But let's move on to another one that Terrapogos, whatever. Big Turtle from Stellar Crown. Man, I need more coffee or something. Stellar Crown, this one's been on a pretty darn steady decline here over the last 3 months, and it's been quite a drop right there. I'm kind of tempted to pick this one up, only because it is the chase of the set. So over time, I think it will do well. It's going to take time. Over time, I mean like next 3, 4, 5 years, something like that, before we start seeing a big push on these prices, because at that point the pack opening is done, the printing is done. Most people are not doing any of that stuff. I mean, look at it now with Evolving Skies. This is no Evolving Skies, let's be clear about that, but with Evolving Skies, to open a pack you have to be willing to just throw out $25 on one pack already. Okay, this will not be that same kind of set, but it'll be a $6-7 pack, something like that. Getting closer to like the double price of MSRP, getting to that $8-9 possibly. So, you're going to be a little bit more hesitant about opening things up in that time frame, which gives these cards a little bit more value because less is being opened, nothing's being printed. That's just how it works. Blastoise EX from 151. We've been coming down for a little bit here, a little over a month, almost. Not quite a month, I guess. I don't know. Maybe a month. Slope down here and a little tick up at the end. If we take a look at the 6 month, we were kind of down in this $40 to $45 range. Big shot up. Got everybody excited when we started talking about reprints and things like that. And sadly, they just didn't come. And now we got the Blooming Waters announcement for February. it's almost disappointing. So where I was hoping it was going to be like the Sam's Club $40 box of Crown Zenith, and I think a lot of people were hopeful for that. I think I've landed on, if I can get one or two just to have them sealed, that's fine. But it's not in the price point of, yay, let's go rip some packs. It really isn't. $60 for the set of 12. I mean, it is a decent pack price, $5 a pack or something. So, meh. But I'm not going for it. Venusaur, similar story here. That spike up, now we're coming down. We got a little jagged bump at the end there. Let's see what it's been recently. Yeah, I mean, averages, it's still on the downtrend and recent downtrend here. That you can see with the graph too, the bar graph behind, not a lot of sales as it's creeping up, and then the moment the price comes down, you get more sales. All right, so it's just the market working itself out. Time heals all things. Is that the message today? Is that what it is? Perrin from Twilight Masquerade, good steady decline here. Looks like it crashed almost, but no, we're okay. $60, not bad for that card. You pair that up with the Growlithe, not a bad little set there. Leafeon VMAX, I started looking at alt arts. I think a handful of them are going to be landing in that Tuesday video for our Trending Tuesday, looking at prices going up, because these last few cards of being alternate arts, these are the few that are on that down slope, and even still, it's a little rocky towards the end there. I think the Blaziken shows a little bit better coming down here in price, getting down to that almost 250 range. We're getting there. We have the Glaceon VMAX now. You take a look at this big downslope here and that upswing. It depends on how you're viewing it. If you look at the last month, you'd be intimidated and go, oh man, this thing's climbing. You know, I don't know if I want to get it, but you stretch it out just a little bit, and okay, from 3 months ago, it's a decline here of about 10%, and then you bring it back from 6 months, and we've got a 5% loss from here. Right? Didn't move much. However, this 315 coming down to 235, 236. That's a much bigger dip. So again, perspective. Your perspective is everything, and you need to be a little bit more willing to see it from different perspectives to have a better snapshot of reality here. So over the past 6 months, we've come down by 40% to $200 on the Espeon VMAX. That's pretty crazy. For whatever reason, with Espeon VMAX not being in Evolving Skies and being pushed to Fusion Strike, weird decision because Espeon V is in Evolving Skies. It seems like this one has had trouble because of that, because it's not Evolving Skies. It's had trouble to keep up in that same bracket. But you know what? It doesn't matter. This is all just for taking a look and seeing where you're at on your journey, where I'm at on mine, and maybe, just maybe, this helps you kind of realize, oh yeah, I was looking at that card and I was thinking about it, and now you know where the price is at, and I just wanted to be a little bit of help there, taking a look at the market. But surprising to see a lot of surging sparks slipping down still, which is great. Let's go down to the bottom all the way to zero. Goose egg, nothing. You don't got to pay for this. I'll pay for it and get it to you. The Pokemon 151 poster collection going out to one lucky winner. 2 3-pack blisters of surging sparks and 5 Pokemon mystery card lots. All you got to do is be a part of the channel, like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you share the channel out and get the word out there so we can hit that 4,000 subscriber mark. And don't forget to hit the bell, because I post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.